Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow.
So for this project, I started with an 8x8-inch frame that I had picked up at a garage sale. Looks like I paid 25 cents for it. I took off the backing, I took all the clips off, I took the glass out, I cleaned up the glass, and then I took Elmer's glue and put it around the perimeter of the back of the frame where the glass would sit. Then I replaced the glass and put Elmer's glue around the perimeter one more time. Now this needs to dry overnight and sometimes up to 24 hours depending on how much glue you use. This serves two purposes. It helps to hold the glass in place and it helps to prevent resin leaks when you put resin on the other side. After the glue had dried, I took painter's tape and put it around the back of the frame just as an extra precaution against resin leaks. Then I flipped it over and I had printed up on my Cricut Be My Valentine, and I put that at the very bottom on the glass. So next I have a heart mold that is about 6 by 5 inches approximately, and I take a Pell mold release spray and spray the inside of it, and then I take art resin. Art resin is a 1-to-1 ratio resin that you mix slowly in a cup for 3 minutes, scraping the sides, scraping the bottom to ensure thorough mixing. And I just went ahead and poured, I want to say this is about an ounce of resin. I just wanted to coat the bottom of it, and I did use my little heat embosser to get rid of the bubbles, and boy does this have a lot of bubbles. I don't know if it's kind of cool, but I just went back to art resin and I don't remember it having that many bubbles, but I guess it does. So in my last project I showed you how you could create the little flowers with the fire glass after it was painted white. And then I also showed you that if you did not have the fire glass, how you could just nip little pieces of glass to create the little flowers. And that's what I did for this project. I actually just nipped them with my nipper tool, this real pretty red, and I used 5 little petals and a bead for the center to create the flower. And that's what I'm going to be putting inside of the heart. So I made about, I don't know, 20 flowers in this way, and that's what I'm putting inside of the heart. So next I just start assembling all of the little pieces that I created with the little bead in the center, making a whole bunch of flowers, and totally fill in the heart mold on top of the existing resin that I had put in there the other day. And then I mixed up another ounce of art resin and I poured that on top of all the flowers that I had just laid in there. And again, I let this set overnight. When I went to take it out of the mold the next day, there was one little spot that it was stuck and I couldn't get it loose. And I did notice when I first poured this mold that there was a rough spot up in that corner. So that was there before I even did this. So in order to get it out, there's a couple ways that I've heard of. I put this in hot water, and the hot water really isn't supposed to go up over the edges, but I really got the water really hot in a bowl in the microwave, then dumped it into this pan, and because it was flat, I could set it right down into the pan. And you can see the steam kind of coming off of it. That's how hot it is. But then after a minute or so, I pull it back up and I'm able to, it has totally released it. The other way I've heard of people doing it is by sticking it in the freezer, and somehow that releases it. But this actually kind of melts or softens the resin so that it comes off from the side. And there is a little indent in the side there where some resin stuck to the side. I'm going to have to get a new mold. I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a little chip. It's not that noticeable, but there is a little chip out of it there. Next, I took this Artist Gloss varnish, and I do have it in this other container because the original bottle is so hard to open. and then eye candy red mica powder, and I mix the two together. I cannot pronounce the name of the mica powder, but I will link it under the description. And if you're looking for a pretty red, this red is absolutely gorgeous. It is so pretty. I have used many reds, and this one I've stuck with because it's so pretty. And I went ahead and I painted around the perimeter of the heart. And with this, you have to totally let it dry before you give it a second coat. And then I decided it just needed something more, so I took clear Elmer's glue and put it around the top perimeter of the heart, and then just took these beads and placed them around the perimeter on top of the Elmer's glue. And I did have to reposition it several times because it wanted to kind of come toward the center, but I thought that kind of gave it a finishing touch. Those beads actually came on a roll like the rhinestone chains do. I got those on Amazon, and it was very handy. And because the bottom of it was flat, they're kind of encased in a little gold backing on it. So after that had dried, I was ready for the resin. The resin I'm using for this project is art resin. Art resin is a 1-to-1 ratio resin that you mix slowly in a cup for approximately 3 minutes, scraping the sides, scraping the bottom to ensure thorough mixing. I poured it onto the canvas, probably about 1.5 ounces, and just used my little silicone tool to push it around. Sometimes I'll use a spoon, sometimes I'll use my gloved hand. You just want to make sure you get it up into the corners and around the edges, because even though they say it's self-leveling, a lot of times it does not go into the corners or the edges. You'll have some empty spots. I use my kitchen torch to get rid of the bubbles, and I do have to level it more, because even though my floor is level, it has a hanger on the very top, which makes that raised a little bit more. So I had to put a little piece of tape underneath that bottom edge to raise that side up so that it was level with the other. Then I took some more resin and I put it especially around the beads to resin the beads in place, even though they're glued down. And then really it's about done. So I always come back after I finish my project every 15 minutes for about the first hour and use my kitchen torch to get rid of any more bubbles. Look for sediment, use a toothpick. I'll reposition it if need be, and just generally check on it. This resin cures best at temperatures between 75 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. All resins are different. You need to read the directions for the resin that you are using. Hey everyone, another heart. Tired of hearts? So I just thought that was cute. I wanted to show you that. I got the idea once I nipped out the one flower to show you how to make your own flowers. And I thought, oh, why not make a bunch of them? But and this red around the edge is so pretty when you put oh, it's not mineral spirits, it's varnish. Sorry. Varnish with the mica powder, and you can do that gold and silver, looks real pretty too. And then I used the Cricut to put at the bottom, but if you watched my bee video, I showed you how to do it without a Cricut machine, and it's really very easy. You can put your own words on there without using a stencil, without using a Cricut machine. And if it is on by putting it behind it and use your oil-based marker. And if it's on canvas, you just put your words on top with carbon paper under it and trace that out. So anyway, it's a cute, very simple project. And these hearts, I think there's 4 of them you get on Amazon, 4 of them for like 11 bucks. They're really a pretty good deal. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Got the Facebook group going. Come join us there. A lot of good ideas, a lot of help. And I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.
Let's take it slow. know where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow.